For more, our international affairs editor, Shirli Sitbon, joins me now in the studio. Hi, Shirli. So what have we learned then in the last hours about this incident?
This continues to evolve with new information. For example, we now know the identities of the Palestinians who were killed, since the Islamic Jihad confirmed that they were two of its fighters. We can see their image on a poster that the group has released. Let's look at what happened so we can understand where the investigation is going, because several of the soldiers and policemen, the border police, are being questioned by services in Israel which investigate the action of police. Yes, these are the two men who were killed, this according to the Islamic Jihad, confirming what the Israelis were saying, that they're part of a terrorist group, a group declared as terrorist by the European Union, the US, and of course by Israel. Other countries don't recognize it as such. While the Israeli border police and army were trying to arrest these two men, this was happening for several hours. They tried to get them out of this home that we can see on the images, perhaps, of yesterday. And then they threw stun grenades inside the building. Everyone else was evacuated from the building, but the two remained inside. Then they brought an excavator to try and demolish the building, to make the two men get out of the building, to force them out of the building. That's when they came out. They surrendered. Their hands were up. We can see it in the images. And they showed that they were not armed. They put their shirts up. And then the soldiers tell them to go backwards. We don't have the statements. That's what we can see. We can see from the images. We can imagine. And that's what the police and people who were interrogated said to investigators, according to the Israeli press. And apparently one of the two, the shooters, went back into the back, and an Israeli, apparently shot him in the leg. And that's when the driver of the excavator said, "There's shooting, we're being shot at," and then they were saying that that's when everybody opened fire and shot the two men. That's their version. That's what's in the Israeli press now. Of course, the investigation will continue. There are various videos, but yes, that's what we know so far. And we've seen various reactions you talked about earlier, condemnations of what happened.
And what about Israeli media, Shirley? How are they covering this?
Yeah, so they started by being very cautious, showing the images, saying we're seeing people, two Palestinians, surrendering, reading out the press statement of the army and the police, a joint statement, and then giving information. But the thing is, they said, you can hear the journalists remaining as cautious as possible, saying the images are disturbing. We're trying to know as much as possible about this. We'll know more as we go along. But what they have to deal with is also comments from people like Itamar Ben-Gvir, the far-right minister, and we can see his tweet from yesterday saying that he's giving full backing to these men who acted exactly the way they were supposed to. Terrorists must die. So yes, the press trying to cover the news as they can, and also facing and telling the viewers that there's this type of reaction, very rare reaction. Others have not reacted in this very way. You have many news outlets with various positions on this, but you have a far-right television station, that's number 14, which has criticized all the other press, saying they're all pro-Hamas, pro-terror, by saying that the soldiers and police opened fire at surrendering Palestinians. They say it's all a lie, the video is a lie. Something we've been hearing after several of these types of operations that turned in a way that led to killings of Palestinians. So yes, the press very divided and very cautious to remain, to give all the facts they have, while not, remaining, once again, very following this very closely. And this is the image when we see them opening fire at the two Palestinian men. Again, Islamic Jihad has recognized them as two of their members, but this is still ongoing. And I think the footage which the soldiers and police had on their helmets will now be examined.
Shirli Sitbon, thank you very much.